So welcome to TNTV this week with Tony and Nikki on the couch talking about relationship pain and taking you through to relationship pleasure, or in fact on the worst case scenarios we've seen many times, people in relationship hell and how to get them into relationship heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be introducing some of the people that have actually been to us with the kind of pain that, you know, dare say that so many people are going through. And you know what? They come to us and it's never what they think it is. It never is the problem that they're focusing on.
No, you know what they always do? They always focus on the problem. And as we always say, and in fact the great film, if you never watched it, Patch Adams, great film, there's a mad professor in it and he says, look, the thing is, you're focusing on the problem, and if you focus on the problem, you can't see the solution. And how right he is in relationships, that's what we do.
Marriage and relationship has broken down and we are going to separate, and Nigel had been in touch with Tony and Nikki and said, well, if you know, for the sake of the boys, let's have this fabulous relationship.
Marriage had broken down, and whilst my marriage is something I no longer want, I know I want to save our relationship because of our children.
Just come out of a 7-year relationship that I thought was it. I thought we were going forward in the right direction, and pretty much broken up about that. I feel my heart is broken.
Look at certain areas in my life to see whether things can be improved, or they're good as they are, and whether that's perhaps as good as it gets, or good enough to live with.
I think to help our relationship, it was about me understanding myself better, and in the end being able to sort of relate to my wife better.
By letting go, probably, by learning more about living more in my feminine, if you like, I could actually have an even better relationship with my husband.
Yeah, so when you immerse yourself just for a few days into getting some education, some information, some knowledge about what you're doing wrong and why you keep blaming the outside world, so to speak, it's really remarkable what happens.
Yeah, it's such a good, example of that. You know, these kind of hot tips just don't work for people, do they? What they've done is they've immersed themselves and they've found out that what they thought was an external problem that was controlling them, that they could do nothing about, they found out that they could absolutely get in control of their lives and find the solution so that they stop making the same mistakes.
Indeed. Now you're going to hear a little bit of jargon, so they're going to be talking a bit about the red or the green, and what does all that mean? Well, if you've been watching our YouTubes, you'll know that the red equals like a fearful, negative space, the green equals a loving, open, in the moment space, and obviously you're going to hear a bit about pink and blue, I think, as well,
the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah, so listen up, see what happened when they immerse themselves.
An insight into myself, really. I definitely realised that I was externally focusing in my life, so everything that wasn't going right for myself was generally due to something external to me. And what I've learned is to sort of look internally, and the big thing about that was putting myself first, which I don't always do. Tend to think I'm doing the right thing by putting other people first, not realising there's a cost to that of myself. So living life in the blue first of all, and then staying in a green state, is not only going to help me, but is also going to help my relationship with Karen.
So in terms of what I've got from it, I've learned a huge amount about myself, but again, not intellectual things, more about how I feel and how comfortable I am being open and intimate and sharing, and that is a huge gift to me.
I think it's going to change my life dramatically, that's for sure. I think I'm definitely going to be more in my feminine. I understand a lot more of what that means. Even though I knew it intuitively, I really have a conscious sense of it now. And to be conscious of it and to know how to just relax and just be yourself, be your natural feminine self, not having to defend, not having to control, all the masculine things that women like to do when they don't feel safe or secure.
Our life is only going to get better. The past is gone. We've buried that. We can go forwards. We can look forward to a fantastic adventure together, even though we're going to be separate. But we can be great friends and be what we are meant to be on this planet.
Yeah, I ditto that. That's exactly how I feel too.
As a family, I'm confident that we will live differently as a result. I'm confident that we will be much more aware, Mark and I, about when we're in the red and when we're in the green, and will encourage our children to become aware of the same, and so much more aware of our energy levels. I'm sure that those things specifically in themselves will have a huge impact on our lives, notwithstanding appreciating more about masculine and feminine energy when we're in masculine or feminine energy, when we're out of polarity. I think those three things together will have a huge impact, in the sense that having felt like we have perhaps been out of sync and disconnected at times, we now have really simple strategies to get back in connection.
Yeah, so these people, they took the time out, valuable resource we have is time. They also invested money in themselves to learn these valuable things, and look what they're going home with.
Yeah, because most people, of course, just, keep doing the same things over and over again and expect a different result. And they say that's the first sign of madness, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. But, it just shows you that if you really put some time into something, that you can find the right solutions to take you from pain to pleasure.
It's fantastic. It's the best thing that's happened to me in my life.
Oh, it's brilliant. So all the couches, so all the teaching is done while you're relaxing on couches. It's got a fabulous spa, beautiful views and beautiful surroundings. Brilliant.
Fantastic people. You really achieve your goals.
I would wish that everybody could know about this, so that they could save themselves so much hurt and pain in relationship, and especially in relationship to themselves.
I've loved everything about it. I've loved the location. I've loved staying here. It feels like staying in someone's home. I feel like part of the family. And most of all, I've loved the opportunity to simply take the opportunity to have some time for me and relax a bit, really.
Wonderful atmosphere of love and trust which developed over the 4 days, and such a marvellous location, and the weather we had was really blessed, so that it was, at one stage I felt I was in heaven.
It's been life-changing. I was in an awful place before we came here. It was not good for the children, but I do feel that I'm leaving here with a great friendship, and that can only benefit our two children.
This place rocks.
So many people ask us, in fact, what happens when people go home, because they've had all this learning, then suddenly, oh my gosh, they're faced with the real world, and does it all work really? So we had this letter from one of these guys who you've just seen on the video. Tell them.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. It was just writing to say thank you for a fantastic event. And he says, my feet have hardly touched the ground since I got back, and I managed to give top priority to applying what I learned. Isn't that fantastic?
That's great.
Amazingly, he said it was difficult to keep the conversation in the green. Remember, that means, in a loving space, as a couple of kind of sidewinder intrusive issues pushed me back into the red, which is isn't that so normal? What happens? We start something new and we go and we find out that actually it's more difficult than we think.
But what was great is that he recognised and he became aware.
He said, but I managed to create a break from and went away and let the adrenaline subside, and the second time I came back I was able to stop it developing into any kind of argument. By the end of Thursday, we'd arrived at a much more loving space with an agreement to move ahead with a positive expectation of massive improvement. So far, it's doing well.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
great?
really cool. So there you go. It does actually work when you get home. You won't find it might even challenge you, but that's all perfect, as we say. So awareness is the key. So yeah, if you want to follow the Tony and Nikki route and move away from relationship hell into relationship heaven, then go to the old homepage, start pressing some buttons, and we're with our team to help make that magic happen for you. So that's it from the couch this week. It's goodbye from me, Tony V, and
goodbye from me too. Bye bye.
See you now.